I want to welcome you to Leading Team-Based Ministry. As we begin this course, there's a couple of things that may come to mind as you think about leading a team. And so a couple of things that just kind of cast a snapshot for us this semester is going to be, as you approach team-based ministry, one, we're going to think about the human resource component to that. Now, the human resource component to leading team-based ministry can be as simple as your paid staff. And as you start thinking about receptionists, administrative assistants, custodial staff, building staff, if you will, your building support staff. Those may be contract services. They could be employees of the church. And then you start thinking about ministerial staff, and it may be you find yourself in a church where you're the only minister, but yet there's still a large human resource component to what you do each week. And you're like, Jody, how is that? Because in church world, as you and I do ministry, there's a huge volunteer component to what we do. We could not pay everyone who teaches a small group, just like a school system pays teachers, and we could not pay for everybody that rocks a baby or pay for everybody that nurtures preschool ministry or everybody that hosts a D-Now host home and pay them like a retreat center for using their house. And so when you think about the human resource component to what you and I try to do each week through the local church to engage people for the gospel, to disciple them and get them using their gifts in the church to serve the body of Christ, then we get this idea of leading team-based ministry. Because you and I as leaders, we have constantly got to be cultivating those that are not only on staff, but those that are also volunteers. So what we're going to do this semester is we're going to break that apart. We're going to spend a few weeks talking about the human resource component of how you hire those people, how you enlist them and train them and bring them in to being a part of the organization. And we do that for those that are paid, and we do that for those that are volunteer. There's an interview process after an application process. There's a background check possibly. There's these other administrative things that you and I need to have an understanding of this semester. But don't worry, we're not going to spend our whole semester in the HR world of human resource. We're just going to bring down the nuts and bolts of that for a few weeks this semester. And then we're going to dive deep. We're going to dive deep, and what I mean by that is we're going to start looking at how church works, how ministry works when we are dealing with a host of people in different life stages, in different work ethic mindsets, from different callings, from different giftedness. How do we get all of that working together so we can advance the gospel of Christ, make disciples in our local context, and move forward in the ministry God's called us? So we're going to have to look at how you train your people, your volunteers, to do the work of ministry. So we're going to spend some time on training. We're going to then spend some time on coaching. I can't just train people in how to do it. I've actually got to coach them. I've got to see it all unfold and how it works. So think about football, my favorite sport. If you think about football this way, you look at 11 people on each side of the football, and you see that one team, is goal when they're on defense is to stop the advancement of the football toward making points. And then you see on the other side, in a very simple fashion, an offense, and their drive is to get down the field and make points. And we know that the one with the most points at the end of the game wins the game. Well, much like that, there's always a host of coaches on the sideline and in the press box at the high school level all the way down, all the way up to the pro league, if you will, of people seeing everything develop on the field. Seeing how players move, where the gaps are, where the opportunities are, where the strengths are, where the weaknesses are. And in practice, they're cultivating those to be better the next week. In midst of the game, they're looking for ways to improve. So you and I have to almost put on that kind of coaching mindset to be sure that as we engage in this ministry that we're called to, that we're looking at this host of volunteers to be sure we're coaching them to move in the right direction under that vision and mission that the Lord's given you to advance ministry. Not only are you having to coach for that, you're having to coach for some things like we need to be sure the kid goes home with the same parent that brought him, that has authority as a guardian to pick the kid up. I mean, there's all kinds of things we have to coach for that come on the back of that training, but there's a much bigger component of being sure that all this ministry and all this resource of people is moving together to actually achieve what God's called us to do. Not only do we have to deal with coaching then, if I'm going to deal with training and coaching, I've also got to deal with motivating. I got to get the team fired up. I got to get them ready to go. I got to get them excited about what God's doing in the life of His church and in the life of ministry. So I'm going to get them motivated. I'm going to get them amped up. And I want to see that take hold in the life of the church. And so there's a few aspects that the latter part of our semesters, we're going to be looking at how to do all of those things and collectively do that together. So in the rhythm of your week, you're beginning to look at those things. So I hope you've downloaded the syllabus. I hope you've ordered your textbooks. I hope you've figured out how this semester is going to look for you. I'll be giving you more of those details. I'll be giving you videos each week. I'll be giving you content each week. And we'll be walking through this semester together in such a way that I hope the Lord works in your life in such a way that you're able to lead ministry more effectively, you're able to reach more people for the gospel, and you're able to coach and motivate and train and do all those things that you can actually lead your team to a better effort of accomplishing the mission. You're probably not going to like everything in this class. Some of it's going to be administrative. Some of it's going to be discipleship oriented. But I truly hope as I pray through the content that it resonates with where you are in ministry, and there's things that you can glean to help you be a better minister of the gospel. I'm praying for you this semester. It is my joy and honor to get to guide you on this journey. If you ever need me, just reach out to me, jdean@nlbts.edu. My extension here at the seminary is 3349. And if you need to call in, just call 504-282-4455, extension 3349, and I'll see what I can do to help assist you so that you can thrive in the ministry God's called you. Have a great semester.